Good evening and welcome to Your Empowered Lifestyle. I am showing up as promised with your video on how to get over the struggle is a real mindset. I'm super excited to be talking with you tonight about this topic because I had to work really hard to get over the struggle is real mindset in my personal life. And so I'm going to talk about tonight some of the principles that I had to use and some of the experiences that helped me to walk through getting over this type of mindset. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and dive right in. For those of you that are seeing me for the first time, this is the first time you're seeing my face. Again, my name is Kimberly Lee. My business is Your Empowered Lifestyle, where I speak or coach others into a more empowered lifestyle by helping them to understand the things that have them on a cycle. And as they understand the things that have them in a cycle with a paradigm shift from new information, they can break through tough mindsets to be able to see more important, more empowered outcomes in their lives. So that is what I do. It is a work that I'm very passionate about in my own life and in the lives of others. For those of you that don't know me, I am a mom. I am a coach. I am a speaker. Um, I wear many different hats. I'm an ordained minister. I'm an author of the book On the Brink of a Breakthrough, which is how this all started from my first book. So I love to teach. So I'm going to go over some of these principles that are near and dear to my heart, and that have helped me over and over again. So again, let's begin and get started. All right, how to get over the struggle is real mindset. Let's talk about it. The first thing we need to understand is what a struggle is. It is feeling constricted or constrained. However, you are trying to get free. Well, in society, we have coined a phrase: the struggle is real. And what that means is that we have a situation in our life that is hard, that is tough. But we may not necessarily have the time, talent, money, effort, energy to get out of that struggle. And so, what I found that people do, myself included, I have come into agreement with that cliche. The struggle is real. And I continue to confess that. And then what happens is I begin to manifest and see struggle outcomes in my life, in my mind, my relationships. And so we have really got to elevate our thinking first and foremost if we're going to overcome the struggle is real mindset. Let's keep going here. I have my handy dandy notes here tonight so that I can stay on track because I value your time. Okay. So we're going to go over overcoming mediocre mindset, better decision making, fear of destiny, getting what you deserve, and making your way out of toxic relationships. Now, of course, this is not an exhaustive list. I can go over a class more in depth, a master class on how to get over the struggle is real mindset. So I'm going to do some very high level principles here with us tonight. But I know that they work, and I know that they are value added all the way. So I'm not just hopping on giving you some fluff that I don't know whether it works or not. Not so, not true. I do know that these principles work if you apply them and if you do the work. If you do the work, like Miss Young says, you got to do your work. So I had to do my work over the last 4 years. I've had to do my work coming out of a 17-year marriage, 6 years in ministry as a pastor's wife, rebuilding my life, rebuilding my finances, rebuilding myself to where I can get up and look in the mirror every day and appreciate what I saw. All right, so let's dig in even further. How are we going to combat this mediocre mindset for a more elevated mindset to get the outcomes we truly want to see in our life? Well, first, we're going to commit to unlearning some things. If you're like me, you learned some things along the way in life, whether it's from childhood, some things that you saw modeled, some things that you saw your friends or your neighbors do, some things that you just did out of habit. Let's just be real. Sometimes we just do things out of habit. We do things because we feel it. We really feel passionate about it, and we committed to learning. We commit it as a decision and we keep doing it, even though it's not the outcome we want. So we have to commit to unlearning. All right, this struggle is real mindset. I have something that I wrote down and I want to read. If it is not relevant to your new beginning, you've got to forget what you know. Many people can't learn because they refuse to let go of old mindsets, do not get them the results that they really want. So we have to stop meditating on what's not getting us the result that we want. We also have to stop meditating on our limitations, telling ourselves things like, I can't do it, that's not for me. This is just where I am right now. I'm just going through. We confess things like that, and then we expect our life to magically change. It doesn't happen. We have to purposefully, intentionally align our thoughts, our heart, and our mind to get the outcome that we really want. Okay. So we have to agree with God about who we are, renew our mind, and repeat. Okay. Just like doing the laundry. It's a repeat, baby. It's a repeat. All right. That's how we're going to rise above. We have to actively let go of the unnecessary. This one is really simple. I found myself as I was rebuilding my life, holding on to a lot of mindsets, a lot of decisions, a lot of relationships that were unnecessary. They were crutches. They were part of the mask that I would put on to get the job done, to be whoever I needed to be in the moment. They were unnecessary. I remember I had someone ask me one time, well, my life isn't working out. Why is your life get to work out in a certain area? And I thought to myself, I really don't need friends like that. That is a friendly. Okay. If you are so concerned with why my life is working out and you're upset about it, that's unnecessary weight, baby. I don't need that in my life. And so it may not be a person, it may be a habit, it may be a mindset. Let go of the unnecessary. Let go of the thing again that is not producing the fruit that you want to get in your life. And a lot of times, what we do as humans is we get the low hanging fruit because it's the easiest. It takes the least effort. If we're going to overcome this mediocre mindset that says just take whatever, just keep struggling, we've got to put some work in and get some fruit from the top. Okay. All right. So actively let go of the unnecessary. That means you got to be paying attention to what is weighing you down, what is not working. Okay. Here's a really important one. You have got to pay attention to your emotional state. Now, this can be a tough one because we are a busy people. Our society is busy. We're constantly moving, constantly going. We have got to be intentional about what our emotional state is because because we are constantly making decisions. Some of those decisions really rally around our emotional state. If I'm really mad, I'm not doing that. If I'm really happy, oh, yeah, let's do it. And we're basing our decisions off of our emotional state. Here's something else I want to read. Lead your emotions. Do not allow your emotions to lead you. We have to learn to manage our emotions. Realize where our focus goes, our energy flows. Ask yourself, where do I want my energy to go? Be in tune with your current mood, mind, and body. Look at yourself as a thermostat. You're in control. Look at yourself as a thermostat, not a thermometer. So you get to set your value, your vision, your voice, your decisions, your emotions. You get to set that. All right. We are thermostats, not thermometers. I'm going to finish reading this. Learn to be in control of how you feel so your emotions do not override your clarity of thought. So your emotions do not override your clarity of thought. Again, easier said than done because in the moment we feel like we're making the best decision. But I have learned that I need to check in with myself before I make a major decision. Okay. So information combined with emotion means you're going to remember something long term. I know it to be true. I know it to be true. A positive, energetic, emotional state, along with new information, will help you renew your mind. So when you're positive, when you're upbeat, when you're at peace, and you're renewing your mind, you're taking in new information, hey, it's going to stick. It's going to stick. It's going to stick. And that's how you're going to rise above that mediocre mindset, baby. Yes. How do I know it works? I know it works because when I was going through that very tough time that I mentioned in prayer, I really felt God pressing me to teach the subject of breakthrough, which is what I needed. And I'm telling you, as I began to research it, I got pumped about it. I was like, yes, this is going to be a blessing. I was excited about it. And it stuck. I can tell anybody how to get a breakthrough. Okay. So teach what you need to learn. Last thing on this is grit. You have got to have some stick to itiveness, stick to itiveness. You have got to stick to it when you're renewing your mind, when you're unlearning, when you're letting go of the unnecessary, when you're checking in with your emotional state, when you're teaching what you need to learn, you got to stick with it. You have to do your work. All right, you got to have some grit about yourself. Let's move on. My laptop here. Next, we're going to touch high level decision making. And I am going through, read through my list. Again, I value your time and I'm going to stay on track. Okay. Number one, get good at decision making. And why did I bring this topic up? Because of this, referencing that really tough time in my life, a really tough time in my life. And I've only had to go through infidelity and trauma and shock, healing, coming into wholeness, rebuilding my life, tearing it all down, rebuilding it again, checking in with loved ones, and then finding out that I was doing something that I needed to tear down again and rebuild again. In all of that, I was making decisions. Hmm. And I really was not checking in with my emotional state. And so, what I learned in retrospect as I got healthier is that this is really, really important. We're always making two types of decisions. Number one, you're making a decision on what you're going to focus on. Number two, you're making a decision on how you're going to feel about it. Always, always. So, that's why we have to get good at decision making. Okay, now understand your reality, however, don't dwell on the negative piece of it. We have the facts, we have the struggle. It is not going to help us to dwell on the negativity of the situation. How are we going to rise above this mediocre mindset that says, I'm in the moment, whatever, let's just make the decision? No, we have got to learn to lead our emotions, take a step back. Come on, glory, hallelujah. Take a step back and make the best decision, not only short term, but long term. Especially if you're like me and you went through a period of trauma and you made decisions, and then you look back and you're like, "Ooh, I could have made a better decision." It's really good to check in with yourself before you make decisions. So, understand your reality. However, do not dwell on the negativity. Understand and know no decision is a decision. Pretty super simple. Just because you're in the struggle and the struggle is real, and you're like, I'm not making a decision right now because the struggle is real, it doesn't mean that it's going to go away. Now, the flip side of that is you can use that to your advantage, meaning you don't have to make a decision right now. However, take the time you need to take, do the research you need to do so that you can move forward and make an informed decision. Because if you don't make a decision, one life will make one for you, and you may not like the outcome. If you are a born again believer like moi, hallelujah, you are going to use the word of God. You are going to pray. You are going to get wise counsel when you're making a really big decision. So I definitely wanted to put that in there, because that is how I govern myself, govern my life. um, for smaller decisions that you find yourself not being able to make, give yourself a self imposed deadline. By Tuesday, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. All right. Make the call on smaller decisions so that you can have the bandwidth for bigger decisions. That really works. Let me just tell you, in my life, it really, really works. um, take the time and research, so that, again, you can step back and make the best informed choice for yourself. Here's some questions that I wrote down to consider when you're making a decision. What is this decision about? Why am I having to make it right now? Is it the end of a thing or the beginning of a thing? Is this a potential opportunity? Is what I am facing a challenge or a lesson that I need to learn? And if so, what is it? How did I make a good decision the last time I made a big decision? What difference will this make in my life and in the lives of others? Does this decision expand me or restrict me? Does it keep me in the struggle? What is the short term impact? What is the long term impact? Am I making this decision to simply please others, or is it really to fulfill a need or want in my own life, a specific area in my life? All right, so that is the topic of decision making. So we want to use those principles to rise above struggle is real mindset. Here's something that's near and dear to my heart. We have got to learn if we're going to come out of the struggle is real mindset. We have got to learn how to stop settling. And a lot of times we settle, again, it goes back to emotions. What we think is best for ourselves right now, what we want right now. And we don't want to put the time in to wait for what we deserve. And that gets us into situationships, right? So we want to learn how to stop settling by waiting on what really is ours and what really belongs to us. And in that time of waiting, it is not a time of loneliness, which is the absence of people. It is a time of aloneness. Again, for born again believers, it is a time between you and God, a time of sweet communion. It is a time of learning more about God, learning more about yourself, learning more about the relationships in your inner circle, learning more about your career, making better decisions that are going to bless you now and bless you down the line. All right. It is about service. It is about knowing what it looks like and feels like to step into your greatness. Okay. So that's why not settling just for whatever, whether it's a job, a career, a relationship, a t shirt. I have learned even in some of my smaller decisions that I would say, oh, I'll just take that for now. I just take that for now. No, that is not an empowered lifestyle. You know what? No, I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to wait on the t shirt that I really want. Why? Because that mindset reinforces that I deserve that t shirt. I deserve that great relationship. I deserve that great house. I was in a situation recently where I really wanted a specific house to buy a specific house. Well, I'd moved out of my place, I moved out of my rental, and the deal. Oh my God. Thought I was going to die. However, I'm still here. Thank God. Um, and I kept working with people and they were like, just take this, just do this, just take this, just do that. And I had that inner knowing that I needed to wait on this one. But I was willing to move forward just to get my foot in the door. And God was teaching me to learn the exact to wait on the blessing, to wait on what He truly had for me. And once I decided to stop settling, things truly began to take on flow in my life. Now, I don't have the house that I really wanted, but guess what? I've learned some invaluable lessons in the valley of that situation that I can take with me and into my place of greatness to share with other people. And when I finally get to that place of getting the house that I really want, I will have matured through that process and I'm ready for what I really want. You get what I'm saying? All right. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I know you are. Stop settling. Get clear on God's identity in your life. Hmm. This is getting good. I don't know if it's getting good for you, but it's getting good for me. Stop, stop settling. How are you going to do that? You're going to get clear on God's identity in your life. I call God Abba, means Father. You got to get clear on who Abba is to you. When I was going through that really tough time in my life, sadly, sadly, I was in this rote repetition of life. I was being everything else to everybody else, not really being who I needed to be to God, learning who He was to me and who I was personally, which is the next thing that I'm next principle I'm going to give you. Get clear on God's identity in your life. Get clear on your own identity in your life. If you want to rise above this struggle is real mindset, you got to get clear on who you are, because when you know who you are, baby, you're going to make decisions that benefit you, whether you have to wait, whether you have to relearn some things, unlearn some things, whether you have to cut up some things that are not beneficial for you, whether they be relationships or behaviors or habits. You're going to be willing to cut those jokers off because you are at a place where you know yourself and you know what you deserve. And you are okay with the timing of God in your life. You're not trying to rush ahead, nor are you lagging behind. So you're going to be in the right place, the right time for the blessings of God to manifest in your life. Okay. And also, when you know who you are, you will have prepared yourself for opportunities when they arise. And you'll also, when you know who you are, you'll begin to create opportunities for yourself. Okay. Get clear on why you don't do the things you know you should do. This is called self sabotage. Get clear on that. Get rid of the old tapes. We talked about that in the mediocre mindset. Renew your mind. Take action toward what you deserve and the things that are important to you. Man, that is so good. Because when you take action on what you know you need to do, you're retraining your brain to say, I deserve the best. I deserve the best. I can do this. I want this. I can do this. Understand that your inaction enforces the story that you are not worth it. That is so huge to me. That is huge. When you stay in the struggle is real mindset and you don't take action towards making quality decisions and you just settle, what you're saying to yourself is, I'm not worth the best. Woo! You're teaching yourself you're not worth the best. Know what you want and why this why you're willing to just accept anything. Don't be afraid. Express what you don't like and what you do like. Pick one area where you feel stuck, an area you know you need to do something. Stop spinning and again take action so that you gain the evidence that you can move forward. All right. Sorry, I got a little jumbly right there, but we're going to continue to move forward. This is a big one. Ask someone to help you be accountable to your new identities, your new mindset, new dreams. All right. So we have got to stop settling, people. We're moving forward. That was so good. I don't know about you, but that was so good for me. It was touching me all over again. I've lived through it. I've done my work, but it was touching me all over again right now, this moment, as I'm teaching, as I'm sharing these principles with you, because when we reinforce the negative, we stay in the struggle. When we don't leap, when we don't take the leap of faith to say, you know what, God, I'm going to hang in here with you and wait on the best for my life. God, I'm going to make my calling and election sure. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to do my work. And I'm not going to try to rush ahead. And I'm not going to settle for just that t shirt. No, I'm going to get what's coming to me because you're a God who loves me and cares about me and you want the best for me, right? So we don't have to settle. We don't have to settle at all. Fear of destiny. Let's keep moving forward. Understand that you have been chosen to fulfill a destiny and you're going to walk, you've been called to walk in specific destiny steps. And it's up to you whether you want to prepare to be at those crossroads at the right place at the right time. Understand that you are equipped for destiny. what you are called to, you truly are already equipped for. You just need to step up to the plate. You just need to dig a little deeper. All right. And what does that look like lived out? It looks like you accepting the fact that God has placed greatness on the inside of you. He's going to put a demand on it. It's left up to you to cultivate it by and getting an education surrounding that thing that you are called to, that is your purpose, that you are passionate about, getting around people with the same mindsets or doing the same thing that are maybe at a higher place than you so you can glean from them. But you are equipped to do it. God has equipped you to do what He's called you to. Recognize the fear. We're talking about the fear of destiny and how that will keep you in that struggle, keep you constrained. All right. Sometimes our belief system is destiny is for everybody else and not for me. Purpose is for everybody else and not for me. I'm just supposed to wake up, go to work, pay my bills, come home, go to church, and that's it. No, no, my friend. You have a calling in your life. You have a purpose that you're supposed to fulfill. You're equipped to do it. So we have to recognize what that fear looks like in our life. Don't try to ignore it. Know the truth about it. What do you mean, Kim? Know that we all get scared. We all get afraid. Know the truth about fear. It's an emotion. All right. If you're a believer like me, you know the word of God says that God Himself did not give us a spirit of fear, timidity, but of love, power, and with sound mind. So that means we can rise above that emotion of fear and move forward into our calling, into our purpose. All right. So that's what I mean when I say know the truth about it. Some fear leads to protection, and other fear leads to being paralyzed. What do you mean? I mean, if I hear a dog barking and that dog is really big and I run and jump on top of the car, that fear has protected me. Okay. However, the fear that paralyzes us is not okay. All right. It's going to keep us in the struggle is real. The struggle is real. So maybe what that looks lived out is you praying. God gave me courage to do what I need to do to step out into my calling. God placed me around people that will help me to fulfill my call. God help me to dig in and study and do the work that I need to do and educate myself surrounding my purpose. Okay? That's what that looks like. Lived out. All right, let's keep going. Um, Reframe. Understand that you do not have to keep fear active in your life. Reframe your fear. What do I mean? I learned this wonderful, wonderful little thing that I could do when I get afraid. Little fear, big fear. Fear is an emotion. However, so is excitement, and it looks like the same thing to our brain. And what I learned is this when I get really afraid, like when I got ready to do this video, or when I get on stage to speak and I'm doing my pregame show and I'm jumping around and I'm like, yes, you got this. I turn that fear into excitement because I have the butterflies. The fear is there. I'm not trying to deny it, but I'm saying, you know what? I feel this fear. However, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm excited. I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited to speak to you today. I'm excited to help somebody. I'm excited that God is using me. I'm excited about it. And before I know it, I flipped it. I've turned it around. So it really works. Try it. Chase. Chase what excites you, what energizes you, what expands you. Don't downplay your passion and your ambition. Ask yourself, what can I do today that energizes me? What can I do today that fulfills me? I do it all the time. I do it all the time. And understand, here's a really big one, a really, really big one, guys. Because for so long, I had this mentality, even though I didn't vocalize it. And it stemmed from my childhood. It stemmed from being let down. It stemmed from rejection. It stemmed from abandonment. It stemmed from fear. And now that I have come into the truth of this, I know that I need to do my work if I'm going to see the outcome that I want to see in my life. With the help of God, of course. But we got to do our part. Faith without works is dead. I can have all the faith that I want, but if I don't get in there and do the work, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, ain't nothing gonna happen. Okay? Here's the last key on the fear of destiny. Understand no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. Okay. No one is coming to do it for you. Scared or not, no one is coming to do it for you. Sometimes you are going to have to do it with your voice shaking. Sometimes you are going to have to do it with your knees knocking. Okay. And you just do it. You begin to release where you are. And as you release where you are, you get better each time. And that's really how you gain confidence because you get better and better and better at it. All right. No one's coming to save you. You won't always feel like it. So you have to push yourself. All right. That is the fear of destiny. Last but not least, working that toxicity out of your life. We're getting ready to close up shop, people. I hope that you have taken some good notes. I hope that these principles have helped you in some way. I hope you're sitting on the other side of my face going, "Oh my God, I needed that. Yes, thank you." And if that is the case, I want you to write me. I want you to Facebook me. I want you to DM me. I want you to let me know. All right, because that keeps me going. Here we go. Toxicity. If we're going to get out of the struggle is real mindset, we have got to deal with the toxicity in our lives. I cannot, man, I could get on my soapbox and preach it to the mountaintop. And a lot of times we look outward. What is the outward toxicity that's going on? And a lot of times the toxicity starts. What are we accepting? What are we allowing? And why? Why? I attracted a lot of toxicity because there were things in me that I didn't even know were there. I didn't understand my self worth. I didn't understand that I was a masterpiece. So people could come into my life, use me, abuse me, get over on me. And then when I would come to the knowledge of it, I'm like, well, maybe I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. No, sweetheart, they're using you, and that's toxic. Okay. So if we're going to get over the struggle is real mindset, we have got to truly recognize toxicity and get it out of our lives. It's like a pet rattlesnake. It's not a good pet to have, right? So here are some, again, not an exhaustive list, really high level list of toxic traits. Name calling, physical abuse, gossip, lying, blaming, shaming, manipulation, control, and all the internal turmoil that goes along with that from being in unhealthy relationships, whether they're at work or they're romantic or whatever the relationship is. You have to ask yourself, what got me here? If you are seeing these toxic traits, hello, somebody. If you're seeing these toxic traits in your life, you've got to ask yourself, what got me here? What's working in me that needs to come out so that I stop attracting this to myself? Okay, that's the real question. What got me here? You also have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do about it? Okay, for many years, I had toxicity in my life, but I wasn't willing to do anything about it because it was the norm. It was functional dysfunction, right? It was functional dysfunction. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do about it? Are you willing to leave the familiar? If so, right, plan your exit strategy. Um, if it is a romantic relationship, really plan safely. I'll say that, okay, without digging too much into it. Get some help. Get some help. People you trust and that you know help you out of the toxic relationship. As always say, understand that your love for yourself, your future, and your family must outweigh your need to be in a relationship. Okay, it's got to outweigh your need to be in a relationship. If you are trying to fill such a humongous void that you're willing to have this toxicity in your life, you are undervaluing yourself, your future, and most likely your loved ones. Okay? So stop assuming your old role. If you're going to work toxicity out of your life, you have to stop assuming your old role. For me, as an adult, when we would have family functions, when I would go around my family, I would assume the old role. All right, those toxic traits would just naturally happen when I got around people, and I had to stop assuming that role. Okay, let's see. Step figuratively Here's the key: step figuratively outside. Right now, this is something that you can do. You have what you feel like is toxicity going on in your life. Do this exercise. Okay, you're not you, you're your best friend. What would your best friend say about what's going on in your life right now? Okay. If it was my BFF, one of them, they would say, you know what? That is out of love. Okay. And a lot of times it takes another set of eyes and another heart to see what we really don't want to see. All right. So you can use that. Sorry about that. With that being said, uh, step figuratively outside of the relationship and act as if you were your best friend. Would you change some things or would you leave some things? Understand it takes courage to leave any toxic relationship. Leaving, if you plan to leave, again, get help and plan a safe departure. You are not powerless, you are powerful. And again, if you are in a romantic relationship, get therapy, get safe help, get legal counsel. Okay. I am not a therapist. I am not telling you what to do. However, these are things that I walk through in my experience. Okay. So you have to get qualified help to help you out of a toxic relationship, especially if you've been in it for a long time and your children involved. So um, decide. Decide certain things you need to do to draw the line. You have to really decide when toxicity is present, when enough is enough. I know in going through a toxic relationship, one day I said, this is it. I prayed one prayer: God, get me out of here. And as I prayed that prayer and I truly meant it, things began to line up for me. And I was able to make my getaway, if you will. Um, So decide when enough is enough for you. When are you going to draw the line? Because again, the more you stay in a toxic relationship, the more you're teaching yourself and others how to treat you poorly. Okay. Stop fishing. This is huge as well. If you're coming out of a toxic relationship, don't take the bait. People are going to continue to cast the line to see if you're going to fight. Don't take the bait. You have got to be a pedestrian and not a passenger in the situation. You've got to let it drive on by. And as you come out of toxicity, now the real work starts. You're going to have to start the work of healing and wholeness within yourself and in your relationships that you've decided to keep. And that can come through, again, a therapist, spiritual counsel, support groups, legal help, or all of the above so that you can get the fresh start that you deserve, okay, and that you're going to need, especially if you are coming out of toxicity. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed how to get over the struggle is real. I hope that these principles have helped you. I truly do. And if you'd like to work more in depth with me, you can get in touch with me at www.breakthroughwithcoachkim.com. I am praying that these principles have helped you. There are things that you can put into place right now to help you move forward into that more empowered lifestyle that I've talked about so much. So, with that being said, we are going to close the shop here. If this is your first time seeing me, you can connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me on Instagram. Facebook is Kimberly Lee. Instagram is at B2B Coach Kim. Um, any one of those to be built up, to be edified. I love to edify other people and build them up, push them forward in their dreams, in their visions, in their habits. So again, they can live that empowered lifestyle that we are all designed